Welcome to the Retro Video Store Podcast.
Welcome everyone to the Retro Video Store Podcast. I'm your host, Eric.
Hi, Eric.
And that's my co-host, Neil.
I'm Neil, and I want to say who's back with us, but I'm the one who was gone, so fucking talk, Dave.
Yeah, I'm your part-time co-host, Dave. Welcome back, Neil.
All right. And just like the inevitability of death, you cannot escape the Retro Video Store Podcast. We're here, whether you like it or not. Apparently not that much.
I was going to like hemorrhoids, like an anal fissure, but sure, death.
Yes.
Great way to start it. Captain Positive.
Well, we're talking about Final Destination, which is about death's design.
Hilarious death.
Yes.
Laugh out loud death.
Yeah.
This movie knows what it's doing. You know, this movie and this one and the third one are my two favorite, where they really hit the formula just perfect. I think, well, we'll talk about it. So, but let's before we jump into Final Destination 2, let's ask what we always ask. David, what did you watch this week?
You know, guys, I actually didn't watch anything this week. I had such a long, hectic, crazy week that every day I got home, I just probably watched something on YouTube that just stared off into the distance, and I don't remember any of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
David, bring in the heat this week.
I did watch Final Destination 2, and I'm excited to talk about it.
I'm glad that you watched that. Thank you for watching that one.
Yeah. Neil, what did you watch?
Oh, I watched Final Destination 2. Eric finally brought some fucking joy to our household with that movie. Not one time did my wife sit on the couch and look at me and go, "What is wrong with your friend? What kind of weird psychosis is he working through that he likes these movies?" This one brought joy. There's many laugh out loud moments. So, Eric, well done. Well done with this one.
Thanks. I thought I'd do something that was kind of a, change of pace from what we've been doing the past couple, about a month or so. We did a lot of monster movies, and then we did Body Double, which I'm dying to hear your opinion. Not Body Double, we did Dress to Kill last week. Neil, what's your opinion about Dress to Kill? I know you watched it before you had to leave town.
God, I don't even remember what I texted you, but I believe the words crap were used many, many times. That movie was horrific. I think the only thing that would have made you like it better is if an Italian man had directed it.
Yeah, it's very Giallo-esque.
Yeah, not even Michael Caine could save that piece of shit. I love the body double that looked like it belonged to a 50-year-old chick. That's what I like. I'm married to someone, and it's like, well, you know what? I know exactly what they look like. I appreciate it, but it didn't look like that. That was a 20-year-old woman.
Penthouse Pet, I think, as well. So.
Nice.
With all the blatant bush shots, I would imagine. That was one of the movies where we're sitting there watching it. My wife's looking at me like, "What the fuck is wrong with your friend?" Like so much, so much, hon.
But it's a classic movie from the 80s. It was a very controversial kind of talking point when it came out back in 1980 when I was 7 years old. Then I wound up watching it on cable later. And
by the way, everybody, Eric had cable as a kid. God, that movie
I enjoyed Dress to Kill. I thought it was pretty good. It was flimsy when it came to the writing, but I liked Brian De Palma's directorial choices and just trying to be just the style that he had. I enjoyed. To
assume that everyone was a moron and couldn't figure out that it was Michael Caine. Like,
from the jump. You knew that from the jump.
From the jump.
Yeah. There was no doubt who that killer was.
Yeah, I had put that out of my head. I was sitting there when you asked, like, "Oh, Neil, what did you think about Dress to Kill?" I'm like, "Fucking, did I watch a movie called Dress to Kill? I don't remember that. When did that come up?" Thanks for bringing that up after a stressful week. Dave's had a stressful week. I had a stressful week. Look what you've done to us both, you bastard.
Yeah,
you bastard. Horrible. What did I watch? So I went and visited my mother. And the dementia is still raging, and she loves some Korean movies and TV series. So while I was there, every night we watch some Korean series that I cannot remember the name of, and some movies. And it's always some awkward love interest. And they were all really formulaic, full of very pretty people and very pretty men that looked almost exactly like the women. So that was what I did. And then I got back here, and everyone's like, you know what, dude, you look a little depressed. Why don't we go watch something funny and stupid? So we went and watched the Minecraft movie, which it is exactly it. It aimed to be exactly what it is, like you were saying. It's exactly what it was meant to be. I don't think at any point did the director look at Jack Black and say, "Hey, dial it back."
Tone it down, Jack.
Yeah, tone it down. He was there in all his Jack Blackiness. And Jason Momoa was really funny. The whole thing, if you've ever played Minecraft, was pretty darn hilarious, just what it was. And because we found that so damn entertaining, we watched Nacho Libre.
Yep. Classic.
Yes, and just because I wanted movies that made me laugh, so Nacho Libre and then The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent.
That's one of your go-tos.
It makes me laugh. Hard to be depressed watching that movie. That movie's freaking hilarious. Yeah, just that. And then I got back home and we watched like a bunch of series that my wife's been watching, and I love to cook, so I watch a lot of cooking shows, just stuff to kind of put me back in a good mood. So this, going back to work this week after taking time off to spend with my mother, I can go back and not just want to rage at everyone and slap the shit out of people. I mean, well, that will happen eventually after a few days, but no,
maybe not temper it a little bit.
Temper it just a little bit. God, yeah. Got the kid to watch Nacho Libre. He loves it. Mm-hmm. He wants to watch it again tonight when we're done with this. So I was struck by something you texted me. So I'm really curious as to what you watched, because the text from you read, "There are no sports on now that I care about." So it really makes me wonder what you filled your time with, what you took the time to watch.
Well, I watched this movie twice, yesterday and the day before yesterday. So I watched this movie twice.
I fast forwarded through parts of it just to watch some of the kills because they were so freaking great.
And then I watched Final Destination 3 yesterday as well, just as to kind of keep that mode going. I watched part of Fast Times at Ridgemont High today. It was on. And then I watched a little bit of Forgetting Sarah Marshall. I watched some of that. And I've been watching a lot more true crime for some reason. Just, whenever there's nothing else to watch, true crime seems to fill that void. It's always like, the investigators weren't prepared for the strange turn of events that led to murder. That kind of stuff. I watched some workplace safety videos, which always, bring me joy. I love.
Yeah, those were fun. I appreciate you sending that one on. It's an infomercial quality acting.
Mm-hmm. And speaking of Final Destination, some of the stuff in workplace safety videos rivals the goriest stuff you can see in Final Destination. People cutting off their limbs on bandsaws, or getting acid sprayed in their face, or falling, having crates fall on their head from a forklift that's not paying attention, and just fun stuff. People getting their arms caught in gears. It's amazing. Workplace safety videos, that's just kind of my favorite thing to watch.
They're crazy outrageous. The ones that you're sending from China are the best.
Oh yeah, I love those. Those are my favorite too. Yeah, they're mostly animated, but they pretty much recreate some of the problems that people are having in China for workplace safety. So yeah, and this kind of begs the question over this past month that I've been asking myself: are my interests too niche?
Yes.
I'm sorry.
You're still forming the question. My bad.
Yeah. Am I somehow on the spectrum? And for almost 52 years, I've never nobody's ever told me.
You tend to rhythm with the tism. That's what you do.
I'm just like, I'm going to watch an hour and a half worth of workplace safety videos and just be totally satisfied. Yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to answer again? Like,
yeah, you can answer
seriously, because last time that was a little knee jerk, and I've had time to think about it, because my original answer may have been too quick and hurtful. Okay.
I'm prepared for it. So
Ready. Yes.
yeah.
Okay.
I'm just happy I'm married. That's,
Oh.
somebody who, oh, sorry, David. That I found somebody to enjoy my special type of madness that I have. Very tolerant woman.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Yeah. I will say that I did one thing that I have not done in a long time on Friday night.
Keep it clean.
It'll be clean.
Okay.
I went to see live music at a local club. And
what kind of music?
it was a group called the Expendables. They're kind of like a reggae, ska, surf band.
So what you're saying is it sucked.
It was interesting. I liked them. They're good musicians. They had like two guitarists, and they're pretty talented. But my friend's like, "Hey, let's go check this out." And it was just, we went and did that, and it was too old to be in a hot and sweaty club with 400 people, and the weed vape is stinging my eyes. And
that's the thing I hate about going to live music now is just the insane amount of weed. Like, can't you enjoy yourself listening to music without it? I'm there to enjoy the show and to watch. I don't want to like walk out of there knowing that if I won't find a taqueria within 2 to 3 minutes, I'm going to have to take someone's life.
Well, since is a ska reggae band, about 50% of their songs are about weed. So, yeah.
Which again, I don't understand. I enjoy a good bourbon every now and then, but I don't begin 50% of my conversations to be about bourbon.
You're not George Thorogood singing about one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer?
No, just a bourbon. I'm good.
Just bourbon? Okay.
Just a bourbon.
I hate that song. That is one of the songs I hate more than any other song is one bourbon, one scotch, and one beer. And it's like one of those songs that you hear that I'll hate listen to. It'll be on, and I'll just listen to the whole thing and wonder why I just listened to something I hated. Yeah.
This moment brought to you by reflection and self-hatred.
That's true. Punish myself for all the bad things I did listening to George Thorogood.
Mm-hmm. You start thinking about your viewing habits. You start thinking about what you make your friends do. Mm-hmm. And then you listen to George Thorogood.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, is there anything you hate listen to, David? Like you listen to that you just hate to punish yourself? Or are you not like me and if you don't like something, you just change it?
Let's change it. Usually once the second country music comes on, I change the channel.
Neil, do you hate listening to anything?
Every time I'm in the car, Sammy really, really has like this playlist she loves, and it's the same shit over and over and over again, and it's music I can't stand. Mm. But being a very happily married man, I just like do 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 and drive the car. Wait to see somebody pump the air brakes or reflexively reach back because I've gotten a little too close in traffic and just zip key flick over the shoulder.
If I hate something, I really want to know why I hate it. So I have to really study it to get to the granular level of why I can't stand something.
And maybe watch some making of documentaries about why you hate it or.
Yeah, exactly. And then, listen to George Thorogood adopt a sort of Southern sounding ethnic accent and talking about how he can't pay his rent and you know what I'm talking about, Neil. You've heard one bourbon and one scotch and one beer. You're from Farmington, David. You're from Farmington too.
That's pretty much like it's like an anthem there. Mm-hmm. Usually though it's one Bud, one Keystone, and another Bud.
Yeah. All right. Well, you're not here to hear me talk about George Thorogood and White Boy Reggae. We're here to talk about Final Destination 2 from 2003.
Speaking of Keystone,
mm-hmm.
You remember during our early college years when Keystone was $7 for a 12-pack with a $5 refund coupon? Remember that?
Yeah.
Yep.
Get it for $2?
Yeah. 12 beers for $2. That didn't tell us anything.
Mm-hmm. Remember Red Dog?
Oh,
That was another beer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great stuff.
Yeah.
Man, I'm glad I've got a
Natty
little bit
Light.
more money now. Natty Light. Oh my God.
Milwaukee's
I've never-
Beast.
Fuck that shit. Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah. Good old crappy beer, which I had at the club. I had a Coors because it was either that or some awful IPA, and I can't stand IPAs. So gross.
Did you have a Coors Light? Pour one out for Dave's Pop?
Yep. The Silver Bullet. Yep. I think people pretend to like IPAs.
I haven't had
enough of that.
Everybody's got hate for IPAs. I haven't had a beer in I don't know how long. I can't even remember what one tastes like.
Mhm.
What is it about it that causes such ire?
It is so hoppy, it tastes like grapefruit juice rather than a beer. I mean, literally to me, and maybe there's something wrong with my taste buds, but it tastes like grapefruit juice. Carbonated grapefruit juice is what IPAs taste like to me.
So Fresca.
Pretty much, even just Fresca with no sugar. Imagine Fresca with no sweetener in it. That's what an IPA tastes like to me.
Mm.
Yeah.
I haven't had a beer in 10 years.
Good
you
for
haven't
you,
had a beer in
Dave.
10 years? Yeah. Proud
Good
of
for
you.
you. But yours is for a quality reason. So good for you.
Quantity and quality.
That's fine. All right. Final Destination 2 from 2003. Neil, do you want to hit us with the super simple Internet Movie Database tagline?
Death is stalking Kimberly Corman and multiple survivors of a deadly highway accident.
That's it.
Shadow death with the weird fingers that go like this.
Yeah.
Whenever
I kind of like that. That was a kind of a cool
That was
thing
good.
they did.
That one was good.
Yeah.
That was
those were
really
cool.
good. It was no flying barbed wire though, but it was pretty fucking solid.
It was pretty good. Yeah, I like that.
Let's get to the flying barbed wire, man. That was the best.
David, when did you first see this movie?
I think when it first came out, I saw it in the theaters. And I don't think I'd seen it since. I think just that one
really?
time. But
Mhm.
the opening sequence was just enough to always remember.
How about you, Neil? When did you see it?
I had to rent this. I was like 5 years into my career at this point.
Mm-hmm.
And my wife was, because I'm married. Yeah, I finished school and started working. She had just started school, so she hadn't even been working a year yet, and we didn't have money, so this was a rental.
Mm-hmm. I probably told the story during the Final Destination 1 podcast, but I remember renting Final Destination 1 on DVD at Hastings. Pour one out for Hastings, the greatest video rental movie book music chain there ever was, and having it sitting on a counter and not watching it for like 3 weeks. And I just kept piling up the late fees. And then I finally watched it and I go, oh, it's pretty good. And I did not watch this movie for a long, long time. And not at all until COVID happened and HBO, but again, back to the HBO, would show the entire series over and over and over again. And Jamie and I would watch them over and over and over again. And we watched this one and 3 more than any other ones, because I think these are the 2 and 3 are the best of the series. But yeah, I really enjoyed just seeing people die in creative ways. That's the whole. One of my cats is meowing. You hear that?
Yeah, I can hear it.
I had to throw something at her. The hell. All right. Mika wanted to be on the podcast, so. Yeah.
Well, you've already sent me unsolicited cat pics.
Yeah. I was trying to send a cat pic to my mom, and I go, "Hey, Autumn says hi," and I sent it to Neil, and Neil's probably like, "The fuck?"
Yeah.
I think the picture I sent back in reply said it all.
Yeah. But I love these movies. You know what you're going to get when you watch a Final Destination movie. It's pure asshole characters getting their just desserts in creative ways. And this one delivered. This one is when the series really came into its own. The first one with the airplane, pretty good. But I think everybody remembers this one, especially if you're driving on a highway.
Fuck that.
Behind a truck.
No type of log or pipe Or lumber. Forget that.
Yes, any lumber on the back of a truck, you think about this movie. That's the.
I told you last week, Eric. Every time we show up on assignment, we get our in brief or something. They say, "Hey, let's just watch out for logging trucks on these narrow roads." Like, oh fuck! In the back of my mind, that's the first thing I think of. Is the whole fire crew rolling behind a logging truck. It's like, this isn't good.
Yeah.
I think we're overlooking the biggest asshole of this movie. We can talk about the people that got killed, but the biggest asshole in this movie was the firefighter.
Oh, the ones. I'm just going to turn this on silent.
Turn this on silent. Boom.
Boom. Yeah. So this one was directed by David R. Ellis. The two original people who produced and directed the first movie were tied up on other stuff, so they wrote the script and had David Ellis direct it. And the fun thing about him is that he was mostly a second unit director for most of his career, and he directed stunts. So you can tell that difference of him directing stunts in this movie, because that sequence at the beginning has some amazing crash stunts. It's really, really good. David Richard Ellis, he died mysteriously in his own home, in his hotel room, and it was in Johannesburg, South Africa. He was prepared to direct a movie, but no cause of death was released, and police say there was no foul play suspected. So a little coincidental for Mr. David R. Ellis, who directed Homeward Bound 2 in 1996, and then Final Destination 2. He did that movie Cellular with Kim Basinger.
Oh,
I've not seen that one. He directed Snakes on a Plane, so he's get respect for him for Snakes on a Plane.
yep.
He did Asylum, a movie from 2008, which is straight to DVD. Then The Final Destination, which was the fourth installment of the series. And I don't know if you guys have seen the preview, but there's a Final Destination 6 coming out.
No, I did see that.
Final Destination Bloodlines, which could be a bad trend, because anytime a movie is called Bloodlines, it's going to suck.
Yeah.
Hellraiser Bloodlines being a prime example of terrible. But he did second unit director on a lot of movies that we have done. He did Warlock. He did a Waterworld. We haven't done that one yet, but he's did Soldier, Deep Blue Sea, and he's done quite a bit of second unit work. Body of Evidence and Sliver. We were going to do Sliver for Adult April, but I decided that maybe people don't want to hear this. Do that one. So, yeah.
I'll watch it.
Just for Sharon Stone. I remember enjoying that movie just for Sharon Stone.
Yeah.
Released on January 31st of 2003. Budget of $26 million and $90 million at the box office. Oddly enough, this is the lowest grossing movie of the series.
But it's rated the best one, isn't it?
I think there's debate between this and 3. I think this one establishes the rules the best, but I think the last 30 minutes are kind of with the whole nurse and all that kind of crap. Where Final Destination 3, the one with the roller coaster, is just pure mayhem all the way through. Death, in creative ways. There's really no time for expanding the mythology or anything like that. There's really not really many dead spots, no pun intended, in part 3.
Oh, and James Wong directed part 3. Not to go too off at a tangent on part 3, but yeah, he's known.
Yeah,
for his craziness.
Yeah, he's done some good stuff. So, cast is Ali Larter as Clear Rivers, making a return to this movie from the first one. Devon Sawa, who was the guy, one of the last survivors of the first movie, was unceremoniously killed off screen by a falling brick. And there's a debate on whether he was invited back or he wanted too much money or they just wrote him out. It just depends on who you ask. But he did not make it to the second movie. But I much prefer Ali Larter to Devon Sawa, so I'm okay with that.
Yes.
Ali Larter is in this movie show called Landman or something. It's like a sort of Yellowstone-ish TV show on Paramount, and she's looking good. Holding up. Representing.
That's with Billy Bob Thornton. It's about oil, yeah?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
AJ Cook is Kimberly Corman. I must honestly say that her acting leaves a little bit to be desired in this movie.
Can I say that I don't know the names of any of these people? I just was waiting to see how they were going to get offed. I paid no attention to character names.
Yeah, after watching it 2 times in 2 days, I finally figured out who the characters were. Like Rory is the stoner guy who tries to touch a guy's face in the elevator, who gets razor wired. Eugene is the African American guy on the motorcycle. Then there is Tim is the kid in the dentist office. Nora is the lady, his mother, and Thomas is the sheriff's deputy or state trooper. So, yeah. Do you want to hit us with the critical consensus?
All right. Rotten Tomatoes gives it a 52%, and that's from 112 critics. That was positive reviews. That's an average rating of 5 of 10. And the critical consensus reads, this sequel is a little more than an excuse to stage elaborate, gory scenes of characters getting killed off. God bless them for that.
Hello.
Yes. On Metacritic, it has a weighted average score of 38 out of 100 based on 25 critics, indicating generally unfavorable reviews from people that suck, have no sense of humor, and don't like horror movies. In 2010, Nick Hyman of Metacritic included Final Destination 2 in the website's editorial 15 movies the critics got wrong. That is true. Denoting that the elaborate suspense action set pieces from the first 2 films are more impressive than most. Audiences polled by CinemaScore gave the film an average rating of B+ on an A+ to F scale.
It's pretty good for a horror movie for CinemaScore, B+.
Yeah, just for the Rube Goldberg deaths getting set up. That's got to be the best one. Just a couple guys spitballing ideas, and one of them had a typewriter. Amazing.
Yeah, exactly. What would be a weird way to die? Or looking up weird ways that people have died before and trying to figure it out.
A high velocity ladder to the head. Boom. Right there.
Totally.
Right. Negative evaluations condemn the film's plot, acting, and screenplay. Roger Ebert of Chicago Sun-Times wrote that perhaps movies are like history and repeat themselves, first as tragedy, then as farce. James Bernardinelli of Real Views stressed that the movie mandates complete gullibility and vacuous attention in order to work on any level. Claudia Puig, looks like Pug, of USA Today complained that there is an audience for a movie in which innocent people suffer hideous accidental deaths is troubling enough, but a group of creative people chose to direct their energies into this repulsive spectacle which simply provokes disgust.
She is, come on.
We got to get to the cool people reviews because the tight ass people reviews are really getting really bad. Justine Elias of The Village Voice asserted that this risible thriller is merely a sadistic series of misread premonitions and vile murders. David, murders though? Were they murdered or were they deaths? Are we attributing a murder to a supernatural force or are they just deaths?
It's a death.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you for going with that. Somebody answer your phone. I don't know what that was. David Grove of Film Threat stated that he wasn't much scared by anything in Final Destination 2, which is silly and illogical. Fucking point, dude.
Yeah.
Jeff Weiss of Deseret News censured to not even get into the awful script or the numbingly awful performances, while Bruce Fretz of Entertainment Weekly stated everything about the film is also deadly. Some critics praised the film's comedic themes. A.O. Scott. If I knew that guy, that's what I would say to him every time I saw him. A.O. of the New York Times imparted it's not as cheekily knowing as the Scream movies or as trashily grand French word as the Evil Dead franchise, but like those pictures, it recognizes the close relationship between fright and laughter and dispenses both with free, unpretentious hand. Thank fucking God for this guy.
Thank you, A.O. Scott.
Yes. A.O. I'm going to be doing that for the rest of the damn day. C.W. Nevius of San Francisco Chronicle conveyed it's funnier than the original. Maitland McDonough of the TV Guide pronounced, if this is your idea of fun, step right up. Gentlemen, shall we step right foot or left foot forward? William Arnold of Seattle Post-Intelligencer found it as a series of Grand Guignol. Wow, everybody loves that word. Skits played for mean-spirited laughs, right up Eric's alley.
Hell yes.
Mark Savlov of the Austin Chronicle admired how it is surprisingly good fun for the current crop of horror films, reasonably well plotted and full of jaw-dropping white-knuckle scares. That said, it's most definitely not for the squeamish or the easily offended. New Pierce, well, I don't know about like it. They're not like jaw-dropping and like surprise. You're looking at it and you're looking around the scene like that guy. He's going to take that to the face. The only one I'd forgotten about was the barbed wire.
Yeah.
That was it. Sheila Norman Culp of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution proclaimed that what Final Destination did for the fear of flying, Final Destination 2 does for the fear of driving.
Yes. People still are affected by that.
Yeah. Amongst the cast ensemble, Carson, Cherry, Cook, Landis, Larder, and Todd were prominent amidst the analysis for their performance as Eugene, Rory, Kimberly, Thomas, Clear, and Bloodworth, respectively. That's just way too much. Can we just say the people that got killed? Kohler of Variety said that Carson, as skeptical Eugene, energizes what has been a rote conception on the page.
You can forget this part. I'll just edit this part out.
Okay. Apparently, Allie Larder is the bright spot.
Yes. She's the best part of them.
More importantly, what we had talked about before is in January 2022, Steven Rosenberg of MovieWeb ranked the franchise's films from worst to best. Rosenberg highlighted Final Destination 2 as the best installment of the franchise, citing the open sequence as memorable in the entire horror genre, let alone the franchise, and praised Todd's performance. Rightfully so.
I will say that this probably does have the best intro, dream sequence. Because the first one is the plane, the second one is this one. I mean, is the highway. Third one is the roller coaster. I think the fourth is like at a racetrack, and the other one, the fifth one, is like an overpass that crumbles or something like that. I may be getting those reversed, but neither of them of the last two are near as good as this one as far as like the opening sequences go. This one is by far the best out of any of the movies, in my opinion.
I'd agree.
Mm-hmm.
So good. Mm-hmm. So much fun.
Yeah.
The one thing that cracks me up about this one is that they have to talk about Flight 180 over and over and over again. At least 4 times some characters have got to go, well, this is a lot like that Flight 180 where death came back for them. Remember Flight 180 where death came back for them? Somebody's got to say that one over and over again. But even at the beginning of the movies, there's like newsreel exposition of what happens in Flight 180 and some talk show talking about as part of Death's design and what's going to happen if you subvert Death's list or the way things happen.
I don't think you understand what I'm trying to say. I don't think you get it that we're surrounded by death all the time.
Exactly. All the time. So they kind of explain the rules to you to kind of set you up if you haven't seen the first one. So it's a decent exposition, and we get to meet Kim and her horny friend Shayna, plus 2 dorks that probably would not be hanging out with these two girls.
No,
that was the least believable thing in the whole movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Everything else setting itself up to kill people and, like I said, high velocity ladders, that I could find plausible. There is a way in a world. I grew up with the game Mousetrap, goddammit.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel this deep in my soul, but those 2 guys hanging out with them, nope.
Yeah.
Well, they said, right, maybe they're leaving the house, and she's like, let's go get the guys, I'm horny, or whatever. And then it pans over, like, the next scene is they're driving, and it pans to those guys in the back seat, and I was thinking, like, those guys? Fuck.
That's exactly what I thought, too. I was like, what?
Yeah.
The guy with the puka shell necklace and the beer cap, with the little beer cap necklace, and the frosted tips in the middle part.
2003.
That is one thing I loved about this movie is it's pre-smartphone.
Yes.
So everybody's got their little Nokia indestructible phones. and there's VCRs and tube TVs everywhere. I loved it.
Yeah.
It harkens back to an old bygone age.
Dude, I loved my Nokia.
Oh yeah. You know, they say that you put the cover on the protective cover on the Nokia to protect the ground, not the phone, because you would chip that pavement.
Those were such great phones. I like
Remember
texting
having
now,
to
though.
text? Yeah, texting now
Like-
is better,
Yes.
but you have to do A, B, C, enter, and yeah, that was a pain in the ass. Texting. I was never very good at that way.
Did you ever have a BlackBerry? I do
Yes,
miss
I did.
I do miss Blackberries.
I had a BlackBerry Pearl, and that was a pretty damn good phone. It had a little trackball in the middle and the tactile keyboard. The internet sucked on it, and it had like a potato for a camera, but texting was a lot more precise with the BlackBerry Pearl.
Well, I'm just thinking about what your internet browsing habits probably are, and I'm very glad that you now have an iPhone.
Yes, it's much better.
Yeah,
with 5G. Remember like the it wasn't not even 4G. Remember how 3G was? It was so slow. I thought I was styling because I had a MacBook Pro and I had an air card, a Verizon 3G air card, and I'm like, look at me, I'm going to watch YouTube, and it would take like, literally an hour to download like a 30-second movie trailer, but I would still say, look at this, man, isn't this pretty cool?
I'd like to do an impression of my my internet capabilities at that time.
Mhm.
Okay.
That's another thing I loved about this movie is when the detective or the deputy is like looking up Flight 180 and all that kind of stuff. It was the old internet, the way the web pages used to look. Just what was it? Something cities, GeoCities. Was it GeoCities? Cities, yeah, where you make your own web page and had the little counter at the bottom of the web page of how many times somebody visited it. And there was of course, MySpace, where you would just like jam up another person's computer by putting a bunch of videos and backgrounds and automatic music and all that kind of crap. Show your individuality.
Well, I do that, but I wear a snakeskin jacket.
Yeah, because it's a symbol of your individuality and belief in personal freedom.
My belief in personal freedom. That's right.
Yes.
Only the cool people are going to get that reference.
Mm-hmm. So everything is leading up to what is going to be the big set piece. What is going to happen that is going to set off the movie. And I love when she's driving beforehand, or I guess she's already in the dream sequence, but you see all this crazy shit happening going on, like the football team and in the bus, pile it up, and the little kids smashing the cars together, and all this kind of foreshadowing of what's going to happen.
Okay, the kid smashing the car was hilarious, though.
Mm-hmm.
That was so good.
But the crash sequence is amazing. The one that really just hits, I mean, no pun intended, is the fucking the log through the police car windshield.
Oh yeah,
just a gore coming out of the back. That windshield is so good.
And they didn't skimp on it too, man. I mean, it wasn't. You didn't just get like a far off shot of that thing. You got the full on like Jello smear.
Yeah, it was awesome. If you watch it was a mixture of CGI and practical, where they tried to get the logs to bounce off the road, but they couldn't. They would only bounce a few inches off, so they had to CGI the logs to get the velocity that they wanted. And they had like a dummy, and they projected the face of the deputy, the actors on it, and then they had the log come in, and there's a little bit of green screen, but it looks perfect because it's a nice mixture of practical and CGI. So I think that was chef's kiss on that one. Mwah.
I agree.
And the
One
guy
thing that
burning
bothered
up in his-
me. Can I tell you what bothered me though during the opening sequence?
Sure.
It made absolutely no sense. Is It looked like it just really. They had a rainstorm, right?
Yeah.
And all the roads wet, but everybody's driving with their windows down.
Mhm.
Yeah, you just
And
begin all that road spray, just like, and everybody's windows down, and they're just fine.
And that is something I really notice if you watch movies, is that wet pavement, apparently a concrete and wet pavement look better on screen. So you always notice when somebody's like in these scenes, they're always spraying down the pavement before the scene, and it's bright and sunny outside and stuff like that, but there's wet pavement or wet concrete. I just notice it all the time. It sticks out like a sore thumb to me in movies where it looks maybe more, the light bounces off better. It looks better or whatever, but they really lean into it in this movie.
Especially in Tango and Cash.
Yeah. It's just wet pavement everywhere. It just looks better.
Every time they were on the road.
Yeah, exactly. Wet. I like the guy who's got stuck in his Trans Am and he's all burning. And you see him his face burning and stuff like that. This movie is anti-seatbelt.
But let's talk about the guy burning in the car. That guy went out fantastic 2 times.
Yes.
2 times. Now, the first time I felt bad. I'm like, dude, that's got to be a horrible fucking way to go. But the second time, when I saw the watch and then the horseshoe diamond ring that he bought, I'm like, fucker has to go.
Yeah, he's got to go.
That guy has got to die. And then falling down with the fire escape through the eyeball. Hell yes.
Well, that part, this movie, I'm going back a little bit. This movie is anti-seatbelt. So what do you see happens to everybody who wear their seatbelt? It's you can't get it loose, so you're burning up, or it's wrapped around your neck while another truck slides at you. Because poor Kim, she had that seatbelt wrapped tightly around her neck during her imaginary death sequence.
Poor thing. Well, I mean, they are propaganda, really.
Yeah.
I mean, from what we've seen, they're as effective as vaccines.
Yeah. Measles, what?
I could see that coming from miles away, thanks to the Earth being flat.
The also it's anti-airbag too. It's just anti-regulation of motor vehicle safety.
It wasn't anti-airbag. It was anti-smart-ass fireman. That's what it was anti. Yeah. And really, come on. Where we grew up, we've all had our turn with having to cut and deal with PVC pipe for many, many, many things. But when that gasoline was creeping through that pipe looked super thin. I've never seen PVC that thin. And then it does make me wonder, could you actually jam a jagged piece of PVC all the way through somebody's skull?
Or would it break? Yeah, I wonder.
Yeah, I wonder too.
It would go through.
If I recall, I think Mythbusters did a couple of Final Destination myths in one of the episodes, and I kind of remember this one being that scene being part of it. I'll have to look it up, but yeah,
Jamie, was it Jamie Heineman, the guy that looked like a walrus in a beret? I'm gonna call bullshit on this. I've killed 5 men this way.
Yeah, definitely. One thing that I do enjoy is they really fake you out, like when our douchey guy in the Trans Am we mentioned, when he's going to die, right? But you're trying to figure out, well, how is he going to die? Is he going to, die in his apartment fire? Is he going to get his hands stuck in the garbage disposal? Is he going to die of food poisoning from Chinese food that has been sitting out on the counter for God knows how long?
Is he going to get disease from not cleaning his fucking pan when he started to cook?
Yes, exactly.
Just throwing it back in there. And I've got enough adjective. I mean, I have replaced many, many, many garbage disposals over the course of my adult life.
Mm-hmm.
I can do it no problem. But I've seen enough movies where people have gotten fucked up, or that is a plot point where they're fighting and someone's trying to jam their fist down in there, that even when I've got the thing unplugged, if I've got to reach down into a garbage disposal, still causes a little bit of butt pucker.
Yeah. Is that movie? It was a Firestarter where the girl made her mom stick her hand in the garbage disposal and turn it on. Am I thinking right? Somebody with telekinesis. I remember that one.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then they made that whole band.
The Prodigy? Firestarter?
Twisted Firestarter. He's the instigator. Way better than the Drew Barrymore movie. I got to tell you, just go listen to it. Get you some electronic music. It's super good.
I did like The Ladder Through the Eye, like you mentioned. That was fun.
Yeah, because he's laying there, just as I'm thinking, like, doesn't he catch that through the eye? Boom, right through. That got the first like audible chuckle out of the misses.
Well, going back to the original Crash thing, getting a bottle stuck under your brakes. She got the water bottle.
That's something that our driver's ed instructor probably warned us about, because we both had the same driving instructor.
Dave, did you ever get a bottle stuck under your brakes there?
Actually, I have. Really? Yeah. When I used to do the spitting tobacco, I dropped my spitter one time underneath the accelerator in the work truck one time. I was like, this is gonna be rough. Trying to like swerve all over the forest road and kick that thing up. People in the truck screaming and yelling,
You're just watching guys dropping logs all at the same time, coming down, trying to stop the fire, wondering which one's going to come through the truck till the piece of PVC flies out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Okay. What I really want to talk about it, because I know we're going in order. We're 46 minutes into this thing, but damn it. Let's talk about high speed barbed wire. I really, well, what is it?
The kid getting smashed by glass, though, that was pretty fucking badass. He got liquefied.
Yeah, the dentist scene, I like that one better. The dentist scene I thought was like way better. I laughed out loud when the glass fell on the kid.
Oh, you saw that coming. What I thought they did was far more terrifying. Was showing that drill on that tooth.
Oh,
that was the worst bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that played on everybody's dentist anxiety, because I just had a root canal like a couple of months ago, and he didn't even use the little thing to numb your gums before he did the injection. He just went straight for the injection without the little, the numbing stuff they put on your gums. That would just be insane.
Are you talking about your doctor or the kid's doctor?
The kid's doctor. Did you notice that? He's like,
he was ready to just go straight in with that. Yeah,
he just went straight in with it. And he didn't even put the little, the numbing.
I thought you were talking about your dentist, and I was just kidding.
No, that was the worst experience ever too. Though I felt like I was in Final Destination when the guy's just holding. Yeah, it was awful. But in nice fake outs, you're wondering if somebody's going to get electrocuted because the fish tank is malfunctioning, or is a pigeon going to fly through the window and kill him, or is he going to get choked to death by the stupid plastic fish?
The pigeons are going to kill you. It's the pigeons.
That the way it looked was just perfect. They
he folds up a little bit before he
folds up.
Yeah.
What was your text to me about the body bag?
It's like, that is the flattest body bag I've ever seen.
Yeah, because he basically squeegeed him into the body bag.
It's such a flat body bag. I paused it and was really, really enjoying myself right there. And I was worried that my wife may have judged me at that point, like we all judge you, when I had to stop and point that out. But she got a giggle out of it as well. Good job with this movie, Eric. Again.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna do 3 in a couple of weeks anyway, so we're just gonna ride the whole series out. But yeah, that just looked awesome. That is what is so good about these movies, and the people who poo-poo them on the critics are missing the point.
Yeah, they're idiots.
Yeah, you're supposed to laugh at the stupid situations and laugh at the stupid characters, and then think about everything around you that could go off. Like when Clear Rivers gets out of the asylum, and they're at the gas station, and she's looking around, and everybody is in a workplace safety video at that gas station. People standing on one foot on a ladder, some guy dropping a propane tank. There's just all sorts of shit going on that is, inevitable death just around the corner.
Head on a swivel, man. She was prepared. Yeah, I'm not going to hurt you. I don't want to hurt you.
What about the lady that got her head pinched off in the elevator?
Yes, that was hilarious. Why is this guy in the elevator holding a basket of prosthetic arms?
He sniffs her hair.
Yeah, he sniffed her hair like a creep.
Oh, but see, that was the thing too, because after her head popped off, it took him a while for the the fire to get there and fix that elevator, you know he had
probably
a
still
little
sniffed it again.
alone. He had some alone time with her severed head.
Yeah, or he's like he's got some of her hair, and right now there's a hair doll sitting on his mantle somewhere.
It's taking a couple of taking some home. But that was kind of cool. I liked the way they shot it, where Eugene's in the edge of the elevator, and you just see the top of her eye. You don't see her whole head decapitated, but it was the way they shot it was pretty funny. And yeah, that one was that's the person I felt the worst for as far as deaths go, because she's just a mom. She lost her husband, and she loses her kid. All of a sudden, she's getting her head lopped off in an elevator. Brutal.
Everybody's just nodding. We're all sitting there. Yeah, that was pretty gross. That was pretty.
Well, let's
good.
get to the part that Neil loved the most is the traffic accident when they're racing to find the lady. I hate the whole plot point with the lady who's pregnant and all that kind of stuff like that is useless to me. But they're trying to get to her, and then they crash the car, and our uppity business professional lady Kat is stuck in the car with a log across her leg and the half of the PVC pipe poking out, and then the news van runs over the sharp rocks and punctures the gas tank, and the gas is flowing down the PVC pipe and stuff. And she's getting mean with the volunteer firefighter, and he jams the jaws of life into the car and then busts her head with the airbag. Amazing. Yeah, that was a good one.
I think that was, and I really wondered, like, did they decide to do this all at once, or did they look at their runtime and went, we need to just off a few people?
Exactly.
Rapid
We got
fire.
90 minutes.
We're running out of time here to off these guys.
One thing I love about this movie, exactly 90 minutes. And I think you might be right, Neil. They're probably like, shit, we got to get this in an hour and a half, get this down to an hour and a half. Let's get a three combo here.
Yeah. And then we got a little barbecue fire sale. We got a 2-for-1 for that.
Yeah, that was, they're rushing to get the people off in that one. But the wire kill was It was so freaking hilarious at high speed, just slicing right through, like great shades of The Exorcist right there, of The Omen. Pardon, The Omen. Yeah, The Omen. Yeah,
The Omen.
I love when the firefighter says, like, you hear that, like, when the body crumbles in 3 different pieces. You just hear the one firefighter go, "Oh my God!" And then someone else is like, and then you hear another one go, "Get somebody out there!" I'm like, his intestines were flopping as he was falling down.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah, that was just
hello before they hit.
Oh my God!
I think that is one of the
out there.
The best parts of the movie is they don't skip on the guts, and and the gore, the gruesome, the all that stuff is not spared, which is, I just, thank you, David R. Ellis, and for making this movie as grisly as you could want it. Super, super funny. Yeah, it is so funny. The movie, I think, like I said, kind of trails off to me near the end. Clear Rivers and the other girl, Kim, get to the hospital. They're trying to get to Eugene, and he's dying. Something's going on in his hospital room. There's gas leaking, and they've both Clear and Eugene are both killed in one action in that part. And then Kim realizes if she dies herself and they bring her back, she can fool Death's design, and that's what she does. And she thinks they're all smart, and they think they did the right thing, and everything's good except for the stupid kid that Rory accidentally saved at the accident site. And they're all, I don't know why. He's like, hey, let's invite these people that we don't really know to have barbecue with us. And they're there, and then kid gets blown up with a nice ending with the arm flying on the
his mom just shitting her pants.
I fucking loved it. Like when he's kid runs out there, boom.
She's always telling him to give her a hand with setting the table. When he finally does,
yes,
all she does is get hysterical.
Once again, this movie lives up to its promise. It's just, you know what you're going to go and get into. You sit down and you watch it. If you have the same sense of humor as we do, you're going to laugh your ass off. And like Neil did, rewind it and watch it again. Or watch the gore again. It's exactly what you paid for in these movies. I think that in 4 and 5, there's too much CGI and they're kind of stretching a little bit, but 2 is just chef's kiss. 3 is I feel the same way. It's just exactly what you wanted in this stupid series. I hope part 6 is good. We'll see. I hope it is. The previews look interesting.
Yeah, I'm not so sure.
Mm-hmm. We forgot to mention Tony Todd. Tony Todd makes a cameo as the mortician.
Candyman.
Yeah.
Well, I love that he wheels him out and it takes him a bit to notice. Oh yeah, aren't you you're the dude. I do want to say
rolls.
Yeah, just slaps him right in there. But every time I did at one point have a job that required me to be around things like that in a crematorium, and I don't know if it's that way from like all of them, but the ones I was at is shot down from the top. And then there was a dude that literally would come in with almost like this big metallic hoe and like smack the skull and the bones to like break them up while the fire was going. That pretty gruesome.
Yeah, that would be that'd be a tough job. But how about the mortuary there though? It's all looks like a haunted house with red lights and mist and looks like it's inside of a castle or something. It's all weird looking.
Yeah, that was the bit that was really strange. Like, hey, we're gonna take this 16th century castle that we found out of nowhere and put the mortuary down at the bottom. You know, the big creepy dude who seems to know everything about death. Let's give him the job.
He's tailor-made for this. David, what's your final thoughts about Final Destination 2?
Well, first thing I want to say is rest in peace, Tony Todd, because I know that he recently passed away. And second is like, this is so entertaining that I was laughing and I enjoyed the whole thing. I didn't get up and clean my house and do anything else. And so that's a good sign.
It must be good if it kept your attention, David. Yeah,
I'm looking forward to number 3. And while I'm on Tony Todd, real quick, I just want to say I decided to go through and see what he did. And in 2024, he did a movie called The Devil's Disciples. Yeah. That is getting 8.9 out of 10 on Internet Movie Database. So
interesting.
Yeah. I remember seeing the advertisement for that, but I never tuned into because I was thinking about that too when I was watching this movie.
And I think his last movie is Final Destination Bloodlines. I think he's in it. Yes, he is. Posthumous release. So, and that is coming out on May 16th, 2025. So I think that might be a theater watch. We'll see. It would be fun to see with the crowd. I'd like to see a shitty Final Destination movie with a crowd of people to hear them, laugh and gasp and stuff with with all the shitty kills. So, Neil, your final thoughts?
Well, I did have a final thought, but it would require 17 different things going near simultaneously to trigger that thought. With weird coincidences that are, really, really contrived. Like, hey, I happen to be the substitute teachers for the person who died in the last movie. Or exactly. There was the writing was very contrived, but you're not going into this movie for quality writing. The only quality writing you need is the set pieces where people are getting offed. You know what? That was the one thing that didn't disappoint me with my movie viewing over the last couple of days. Everything I walked into, I got exactly what I was expecting. Yeah. Final Destination 2, the Minecraft thing, Nacho Libre, all of that. None of these movies insists upon themselves. Yeah. It's pure entertainment. Exactly. Going back, or next week, we're going to go way back to the 80s and do a movie we've never done before, but in honor of Val Kilmer, we're going to do the original Top Gun for next week. So, are you sure that's safe? That seems like we'd be on a highway to the danger zone. To the danger zone, yes. You have the need for speed. The need for speed, yes. So Top Gun next week. If you want us to send in it's an email. You know what I don't like about you on this podcast, Eric? You know what that is? You're reckless. I fight you close to the edge.
It's gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
Hit us up, rvspodcast222@gmail.com. Go to buymeacoffee.com and contribute to the Retro Video Store if you would like. Hit us up on Instagram and on Facebook. And I haven't been to Blue Sky in a long, long time, so I don't even know if that's a viable platform anymore.
I went to Blue Sky when I was in Oklahoma to see what you were posting, and it's quite obvious you haven't been there in quite some time.
Yeah, I need to. I apologize for that. So I did go to Threads the other day, and Threads is full of porn. Maybe it's just my algorithm, but
Yeah, that's how you talk about Threads. That's just your phone understanding who you are.
I was just looking through like, good Lord, what's going on with Threads? So yeah, I scrolled for like an hour, but
An hour, yeah. Like, oh my God, Kim, so
it took me
shocking.
an hour
Honey,
to go, what is going on here? Jesus.
can you believe what they're
Look
doing
at
in this
this.
picture?
Can you believe
Do you
this?
think I don't even think you could do something like that, even if you tried really hard.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us, everybody. We appreciate it.
Thanks,
Everybody
everybody.
have a good week and avoid the state of Oklahoma if you can.
Goodbye.
Thank you for listening to the Retro Video Store podcast.